Obviously, they've played 5 less games than Alabama, so they don't have the number of opportunities to be able to do so, but they've got to do a much better job at finishing near the end. Now, I do think that, like I said, we can talk offensively all day long about what's going on. And you mentioned about what's going on in the front. I think that hands down, Ohio State has the best defensive line in the country, without a doubt, every day of the week and twice on Sunday. But surprisingly, Alabama averages more sacks per game than Ohio State does. Alabama's averaging 2.83 sacks per game, while Ohio
Said
State's
we can
averaging
talk off
2.71. So it's not
all day
like
long game than
Alabama's
Ohio
that
State
bad
does.
up front
Alabama's
either.
averaging.
I mean, there's a reason they're the number one team in the country. There's a reason that they're doing the things that they're doing on defense. But at the end of the day, um, I think it's going to come down to a handful of things, right? Alabama does not take negative plays. That's one thing that Nick Saban has prided himself on everywhere he's been, whether it be LSU, whether it be his time with the Miami Dolphins. They don't get hurt with negative plays. And that's hard to do on a regular basis. And I'm really impressed with the way that he's been able to do that. Ohio State, on the other hand, has not been as efficient in that category this year. Now, I think the other side of the thing is Justin Fields has to play lights out. He did a very mediocre, if not poor, job against Northwestern, but then we saw him play the best game probably of his life against Clemson. He was extremely efficient. He was extremely effective. He got the ball out of his hands. He pulled it down and ran when he had to, and he did all that after taking a helmet shot to the ribs. Proved it. He showed his toughness. He did a tremendous job there, And then both teams do a really good job of not only hanging on to the ball but getting takeaways too. Ohio State is plus 1.3 in takeaways per game, where they're averaging just over one takeover above their opponent per game. Alabama averaging 0.92, averaging just under one takeover more takeaway over their opponent per game. I think this is an extremely evenly matched up um, game. Uh, uh, but I think it's going to come down to, like you said, it's going to come down to the trenches. I'm less worried. If I'm Ohio State, okay, I'm less worried of the Heisman Trophy winner and more worried about Najee Harris. Because here's the thing, right? Ohio State's probably weakest point on this entire deal is their secondary. And we all know Devontae Smith can be able to burn you deep. But the thing with Najee Harris is that he can burn you in the middle. He can burn you on the edge. They can flake him out. They can get him the ball. He can burn you in space. The ball in his hands give them the best chance to win this game. And it's gotta be scary having to go against somebody like that. Now, I also understand that um, Jalen Waddle stands a good chance of being able to play in this game. He's one of the fastest guys to put on a jersey in college football. With
Yeah,
him
you,
back in the
you
lineup,
probably won't see
that
him return a kick return.
no, but that adds in just another element that Ohio State has to worry about. Um, because if Waddle's in the lineup, you got Waddle on one side, you got Devontae Smith on the other side, and you got Najee Harris in the backfield with probably the second best quarterback in college football right now throwing the ball. That's a tough freaking offense. And then of course what they're doing up front with the offensive line. Najee Harris is a scary individual. Devontae Harris is a scary individual. Obviously, we haven't seen Jalen Waddle play in a couple weeks, but that man can freaking go. Man, he can go. And then obviously the leader of that offense in old Mac Attack is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Yes, you can never forget about John Mechie. Um, but it's going to be, this Alabama team is probably the best, if not one of the best Alabama teams that I've seen Nick Saban put together, and that is saying something because he has had some damn good teams over the years. You all right over there?
I was just listening.
Um,
Yeah.
is it still down?
No, I had to restart it, but I'm up. I'm up.
Okay. But it's you know, I'm really looking forward to seeing this game. This is probably going to be the best game in football as of yet, and we've had some really good ones. But I'm really excited to see the matchup here between this Ohio State offense and Alabama offense because they're two of the best to ever do it, and I say ever do it, I mean ever do it in the history of football. Um, and anytime I get to watch Ohio State's front go at it, I'm always excited.
Well, let's move into our picks for this national championship. Who do you have, Iowa State or Alabama?
Mother, are you still watching? Because you may want to close your web browser. I'm taking Alabama. I think Alabama's offense is just too powerful, too strong. They have too many guys on this team that have been doing it for too long. You know, I knew this was going to be a problem for everybody else in the country when Devontae Smith and Najee Harris all
She's,
decided to come back for their senior year.
she says
Uh,
yes.
and because this is just too powerful of an offense to get stopped. I mean, I haven't seen nobody has slowed them down. The closest team that's been able to compete with them is Florida, and that's because they were able to keep up with them. I think Ohio State can keep up with them. I think that Ohio State can run the ball with them. I think that they have a very good chance to do it, but Ohio State's secondary, in my opinion, is just too weak to win this national championship game. I'm going to take Alabama and the Crimson Tide.
Well, I'll be on mom's good side, but I wasn't doing it for her. I got Ohio State. That's not something. I got Ohio State. I just think they're too good. I think these teams are both good. It's going to come down to who makes the stops, who wins the trenches. I think I got Ohio State because I think they'll win the trenches, and just the game they put against Clemson. I think we can see them playing again. But if they come out hot and they their defenses make those couple plays, like I think they will. I know I like the weapons from Alabama. I know how tough they can be, but what we saw against Clemson, Justin Fields is looking to show because he was ranked mid first rounder before last week's game against Clemson. He's trying to show that hey, I can take this team and to the national championship, and I think he'll just prove that hey, we might be the underdogs, but we're gonna have a chance. So I might be wrong going with my heart, but I just believe in this Ohio State team, especially after what they did to Clemson.
Well, let me say this, man. Like I said, Justin Fields played the best game that he's ever played before in his life, and then that was enough to beat Clemson. Here's the thing. He's going to have to play even better than that to beat Alabama. But I do think this is going to be a really fun matchup. And Zach, I agree with you 100%. I do think Nick Saban probably does live in a frat house and beats up the mascot on Friday nights. um, but um, I'm excited to see this game. It's probably the game I'm most looking forward to seeing all year long. I was really glad to see that we had this matchup. Even though, Clemson, Alabama has never been a bad showdown, it does get old after a while. Nice to break up the monotony. But I'm looking forward to seeing this Ryan Day Nick Saban matchup. Now, Matt, before we go, since we're talking about Ohio State here and dominant college coaches, what are your thoughts on the possibility of Urban Meyer going down to Jacksonville to interview and Trevor Lawrence getting picked with the number 1 pick? Do you think that there is a chance that Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence could have a showing in Jacksonville next year?
Well, apparently it's almost a done deal because he's starting to put his staff together. But apparently he's also interviewing for the Chargers job. But I don't know. Not every college coach are going to be great NFL coaches. We've seen that with Nick Saban. So it's going to be different. It's going to be different because we've not seen it. But the ceiling's high. It's going to be very high, knowing we know how Urban Myers is, and Trevor Lawrence. I love the situation. Whoever taking the job for Jacksonville, I think, to my opinion, I think that was the job to take. I think the Chargers, too, slightly, just because of Jacksonville. He has a good chance, just because what they have, over $100 million in cap space, no income tax in the state of Florida. I want to see what they're going to do with the draft picks. They have 3 first-round draft picks this year, so that always helps. Plus, they're going to have a lot of cap space. So Urban does have the opportunity to do something. We'll just see. Can his transition to the NFL be like what we saw with Jim Kelly? Or not Jim? Yeah, Jim. That's a Jim Kelly. I can't. My head. I'm throwing brains.
For who?
49ers old head coach Jim, Michigan coach now.
Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh, sorry.
Who got an extension too? You know, it's amazing.
So,
you don't lose to Ohio State because you don't play him, and all of a sudden you get an extension there.
Yeah,
I can't believe that. But
or he's gonna be like a Chip Kelly or like a Nick Saban. So, like I said, he has the opportunity. There's stuff, and there's already weapons in Jacksonville defensively, and I like some of their offensive receivers. So he does have a chance because it's not like going to a full rebuild. There's pieces there.
No, absolutely. And yes, Richmond, Jim Harbaugh does get a contract extension with Michigan. It is for less money than he initially took the first time around, but yeah, no, he does have an extension all the way through 2025, and so no idea why, but whatever.
You know
He's
what?
making note.
As a Ohio State fan, it's good for us.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and take this time to also announce that we have 3 weeks left in the month of January here on Volzie's Twitch. We'll be doing a Steam giveaway, $25 gift card to Steam that will be eligible for anybody that is subscribed to the channel. So anybody subscribed to the Volzie channel, whether it be through your Amazon Prime account or an actual subscriber, you will be entered into the drawing for a $25 gift card. Go ahead, subscribe, enter into that, and then you stand a chance of winning the $25 subscription. In the meantime, we're all done here. We're going to end up calling it today. Looking forward to seeing these 3 matchups. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Appreciate you guys taking the time. Don't forget to tune in on twitch.com/BuckHeels, twitch.com/Volzie. We're also live every single Sunday at 11 a.m. on the Double V Sports Talk on Facebook Live and Double V Sports Talk on YouTube Live here every single week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you guys next time. Until then, BuckHeels and Volzie are out.